All right, welcome back, everybody. GE115, AutoCAD. Excellent job last class. You guys did great last Thursday, so super impressed with what you're producing. Keep it up. We're gonna raise the level a little bit and start to build templates today. So you can see that's here. I'll just briefly show you the assignment. It's kind of wordy, so go through it carefully when you go through it. And I'll cover all the skill sets needed to get it done. So you're going to create a US Imperial. So that uses the AutoCAD template. And I'll talk about that as I open it up. But you're going to do two layouts ready to go, and you're going to use some title blocks that I have loaded up. So I can show you those. I already have it open. Here's the title blocks. This is the new form for the A size paper, 8.5 by 11. This goes in the lower right corner. And this is the form we're going to use for the B size paper. And I want your template to have both. So I'll go over making templates and placing text a little bit again. But there's some other settings that we also want. We want to load some line types, which you know how to do. And we want to create some layers, which we haven't done yet. So, and then we're going to create a DWT template file. So I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. So let's just go back over the title blocks a little bit. You can see I have a size layout that has no title block. And then I have a B size layout called layout 2 that has a title block that I've just started. So I just opened up the boxes exercise to do this. You can just start a new exercise if you want. You don't have to have boxes. In the end, I'll just get rid of the boxes. But for me, when I make a template, I kind of like to be able to see an object. I don't know why. It can be anything, right? It could be just a box. So I could get rid of like everything inside this window, and it could just be a box. But for some reason, when I build templates, I like to be able to see it. And you can kind of test it as you go. So I'll kind of explain that. Let me go over placing text and justification, because I want your title blocks to look just like these, right? So the B size one, I mean, it has a specific height and has specific distances for these two boxes and these three. And then this one's like a floater that can change size. It has, excuse me, it has specific text height in some of it, 0.12 for this littler stuff, and 0.19 for this. This one, I guess you can decide what you want, and same with this one. The section number, please just put the class number. That'd be great. All right, so I'm going to put this part name in and kind of show you a few tricks to building templates. So it is 0.19, and I think it was, oh boy, I already forgot where it is. Where is it? Oh, it's right here in the middle. So obviously we might have a part name, but I'm just going to call it a lab name, right? So I am in Paperspace. That's where you want to do your title block, is in Paperspace, but in the layout viewing mode. So this is layout viewing mode, right? So I kind of zoom in. I am going to cross it. I do have my line weight on just to kind of see things, but you can have yours off. But in the end, we want some line weight to the title block. So then when I go to place the text, single line text, right away I get the options, and justifies one of them. So I'm going to hit J for justify and hit enter. And then I'm going to put it in the middle center, the geometric center of the text. Okay. And then I'm going to put it in the middle of the line. So you want your middle O-snap going. It's supposed to be 90 degrees. That's good. The text height is supposed to be 0.19 and 0. Good. All right. Everything looks good. And what I would put in here is like anything like lab, or just exercise maybe. Any word, and then I'll double enter, and it'll place it. So the theory here is anything in there, when I save this as a template, it's going to save that word, right? But then when I open this as a drawing using my template, I can edit the text really easy to put in whatever is current. Like date, I would put a fake date in. You can use X's. This could have been X's, right? Because to edit text, you just two-click on it. Click, click, and then you can type. This is called, I think, oh no, it's called templates. I think maybe template 1. Right? So any placeholder text works. And you can just two-click on it, click, click, and change it right away after you open up your drawing using your template. So that's how we'll use these templates. Now notice I just opened a drawing to start this as a template. When you go to save, you can do save as, and you can change it from a drawing to a template, a DWT. Now it's going to ask you, where do you want to save this? And this should go onto a flash drive. So you can move it around with you and use it wherever you want to, right? I'm just going to put it on the desktop and I'll call it wk4. You're going to put last name first, DONALDSON, template 1. And I would date it. And then when you change your template or update it, you would change the date, right? So I'm going to hit save. Now, I could add a description. This is nice for the future, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just going to say, okay. Notice the file name changes to DWT. Now I am working on a template. It did save this box as part of the template, but that would be pretty easy to erase each time I came in. But I'd probably erase the box in my final save because I have a lot more to do here to my template. But now I'm working in the template, and anything I do will get saved as in the template, okay? So what you're going to do is create a B-size piece of paper with a specific form for title block at the bottom, and then your A size is going to be this form 5 at the bottom. So here, layout 1. So here's where I got to build in paper space this form 5 title block. Okay, now you can rename these too. You don't want to leave them layout 1. Right click, rename. I would probably call this a US. That means inches when I put US. A size title block or layout, right? And this one would be a US because it's inches. It's thinking in inches. B size. So when I pull this up in the future, it's going to remind me, oh, this is B size here, this is A size here, and I can just get to drawing when I use my template. All right. The other things that you're going to set in your template is some layers. So that's new. Layers are here, and layers are just a system of organizing information. That's all it is. Okay. So I'm going to do it from model space. I wish this would hide, go away. There we go. It's right here, layer information. So you are given the 0 layer by default, and you're given the definition points layer by defaults. Don't mess with them. Leave those alone. We're going to try not to use them. We are currently working on the 0 layer, and you can see that it's white, and that's why these are white lines. So we can control color. We can control line type. Those are the 2 big things that we can control with layers. There's lots of other things we can do with layers, but that's where we're going to start. So to make layers, we can pull down this little dialog box. Sorry. And you'll see that there's create layer, which is Oh, these are all the controls. This is interesting. This is 25. So there you go. Anyway, layer properties. If you click that, this is where we make them. So one more time, layer properties right here. It pulls up the layer properties manager, right? And then there is an opportunity to create a new layer right here. So you can see that we're working on the 0 layer. It's got a check next to it and it's white. And if you pull this out, you can get more information. You can spread this out, like, if you want to see what all this stuff says. You don't have to do this, but it's kind of nice to see the line type and the line weight, that kind of thing. All right. So here we go. Making layers is nothing more than clicking this. That just adds a layer and the name is highlighted. So we can just type visible lines. So in the mechanical world, visible lines are continuous lines. So they're going to be continuous. And, you can add color. I think I gave you specific colors, but I'll make it cayenne. Okay. And then continuous is the line type that I wanted. But if I wanted a different one, I'll have to go and load it. Okay. So I'll do a couple of these. And then once you make them, right, that's made, ready to go. It's called visible lines. Then as you're drawing, you can switch the layer, you can switch the layer to visible lines. So now it's going to pick up all the characteristics of that visible line. If I draw a line now, it is on a layer. I have the thickness set over here, so everything that gets drawn is going to be thick. So I need to get rid of that. That's kind of the old way to do it. And I'm going to give the control to the layer, right? So let's go back into the property manager. I'll get rid of these. Right now, if I draw, I'm going to just get a thin line because it's not set in the layer. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go up to my visible lines and I'm going to set a line weight. And I'm going to go with 70.7. Okay, so now it's set. It's going to be cayenne, it's going to be 0.7, it's going to be continuous. Notice that it changed already. Cool. All right, so we can set these properties to layers, right? I'll do one more. We'll do hidden. I probably wouldn't add lines just because it hogs space, but that's all right. We'll do it. And then I'm going to load a line type. And I'm going to scroll down because this is a US drawing. And I'm just going to put the standard hidden in. And I'll say, OK. Now, it didn't change it. That just loads it. So now we can choose it. OK. Very good. Now, you can kind of control the line you get. Oh, there was one other thing. It should be a different color. So I think hidden lines are going to be red in your exercise. So just jumping around a little here. All right, so now when I pull it down, I should see red hidden lines, blue or cayenne visible lines. All right, so if I make it active, if it's here visible, it's active. So if I draw a line now, I am going to get, oh, check it out. They're thick. I don't want them thick. I want the control to be bilayer. So let's go back in and see what happened. Ah, it's thick. I want them thin. So I'll just put it back to the default. Okay. So you're gonna make these and you want to test it as you go along to make sure that they're showing up. Now, this doesn't mean your hidden lines are going to be good. Like when you go here, your hidden lines could look terrible, or when you go here, they could look terrible. So we still have to deal with scaling stuff. But now we have some layers and some properties to those layers to work with. All right, so you have to create some of those. What else do you have to create? Let's take a look. Load some line types. So just basic line type loading, you know how to do that. Create some layers, that's good. And then work with these two layouts. That's it for the template. So I want to show you a couple other things though with using templates, kind of how we use them. All right, so in the end, I would get rid of this. So my template is blank. Because when you use it, you kind of want a blank slate, right? But you want all the settings. Like I want all this, the fancy settings that I created. I want my layouts, get them all complete. And then we'll add to these templates over time. But I'm going to hit save. Remember where I put my template? You have to remember where you put your template so you can use it, right? I put my template on the desktop, all right? So when I exit this drawing, and to exit the drawing is right here, this X, that just exits my template, right? So then if I want to start a new drawing, it's going to say, when you start a new drawing, it's going to ask you for the template, and it's defaulted to the ACAD template. That's just from the software, right? If you want to use your template, you have to look for it and use it. So I'm going to look onto the desktop, and there should be a template there, right there, Donaldson 1. And it kind of shows it to you like just a picture of it. And I'll say open. Notice it did not open my template. It opened a drawing using my template. That's important because you don't want to ruin your template by making a bunch of changes and then hit save, right? So I have my A size, I have my B size, I have my model space, I got my layers that I created, everything comes in, I don't have to recreate those each time. That's the point of a template. Again, if you don't tell it a different, like if you don't go and tell it your template and you just hit ACAD, then you don't get all your stuff. My stuff's not here, my layers aren't here, my layouts are not here. If you don't tell it to use your template, you won't get your stuff, okay? Drawing 2 here, I used my template, I got my layers, I got my properties to my layers. It's actually working good, all right? Saving us a lot of time when we get our template going. So that's your exercise. There's no drawing. It's just complete your A size title block, complete your B size title block, and do all the settings that are in the lab here. You can do more. If you want to add some things to your template, go for it. But this is all you need for the project at hand. All right. Good job, everybody. If you have questions, you can email me or chase me down in the lab.